Hey everybody. So before we even get into the second debate, I have to point out fucking NBC is like the stupidest fucking news organization on the planet right now. So when Trump said that Clinton used acid to wash out her emails, he was obviously being a little bit facetious because what she did was use BleachBit, which is a software program that, I guess it wipes memory out. I'm not really too clear exactly what it does. It's used to clear memory and to stop people from seeing shit that they might have seen otherwise. And apparently NBC did not did not catch on to this and decided to fact check Trump and say that Clinton did not in fact use acid wash to clear her email servers. Holy shit. It's like, really? You really had to tell us that? Because, see, this is why I think Trump is a troll. Because the thing about trolling is that, it's meant to say ridiculous things to get you to think. Like, that's old school trolling. Like, the word trolling now just basically means being a flamer. It's interesting to see how the terms have just... The word flamer has just completely gone away from our vocabulary on the internet, and it's just been fused into troll, which used to be something very different. This was very different from this. But yeah, Trump is a troll in the classic sense, in that he says something, oh, fucking Facebook, shut the fuck up, in that he says something offensive to get you to think. That's the art of trolling that was lost, but is coming back with Trump, because now everyone's going to be like, oh shit, really, he didn't mean acid wash? What does he mean? And so they're going to see, BleachBit, and they'll read up on it. I almost want to say it was probably planned. He probably knew they were going to fucking do that. 4D chest. Excuse me, 4D chest. So yeah, let's just jump right into the second debate. I took down a few notes while watching it. Just a couple bullet points here. Overall, Trump definitely came out ahead. He stuck a lot more to policy. Oh, by the way, if this is the first video you're seeing me, I'm totally backing the Trump train. So whatever, whatever capacity I have to offer a truly objective analysis. I mean, I tried. I am trying watching these things, but fuck off, Facebook. I'm trying while watching these things, but probably not fucking possible at this point. My mind's already been made up. So the first thing I'd point out is that, about the debate is Hillary opened up with the character attacks. I think this was very intentional on Trump's part. He wanted her to come up to him, come at him, to go below the belt, and try to fight on his level, because he's really good at, doing the character shit and just going for the low blows. It's kind of his specialty. It's one of his greatest fucking persuasion tactics. So yeah, Hillary opened up on, of course, the fucking tapes. I'm still laughing about them. I'm gonna probably put that as my fucking ringtone. Grab her by the pussy. It's a great ringtone for grandma. Great ringtone for your grandma. Anyway, so yeah, Hillary opened up, and without any hesitation, Trump jumped right into Bill's sexual assaults, the many women he has raped and abused throughout the years, which completely negates anything Hillary was going to say. So keep in mind, Hillary has very low hard support. Not many people excited to vote for Hillary. So every amount of soft support they can get for Clinton is very important. Think about just how obsessed with with rape culture this generation has become. Not just that sexual assault and rape would be hopefully a career killer under normal circumstances. The effect would be even more amplified with millennial voters. I think the more they hear about this, because this is the first time they're really having any exposure to Clinton. People like me were way too fucking young when Clinton number one, Billy, Slick Willie, when he was in office. So there's no vaguely positive memories we can associate with him. You know, it was before our time. So I think these were, you know, somebody was going to eventually fucking bring it up. You know, they couldn't run away from it forever, and Trump definitely, you know, hit back hard. You know, they might try to bring up this tape again next debate, but Trump has a great fucking response. It's, you know, Hillary, you know, silenced the victims of rape, and, you know, bragged about getting a child molester, getting him, excuse me, brain fart, you know, getting him out of fucking being tried. So this is, you know, great time to drop it from Trump. I called it yesterday when I saw that he retweeted Juanita Broderick, I think that's her name. And so, you know, clearly sending a warning, like, hey, if you, you know, try to hit me with this tape shit again, all right, that's it, the gloves are off. And I think the gloves have really gotten off because this is the first time I think Trump's actually name-dropped George Soros. Now, if you're following the kind of shit that I've been following, you know, George Soros is this billionaire tycoon that has, you know, had his fucking money laundering, not money laundering, I guess. He's been found connected to many disastrous events throughout recent years. Probably the biggest example would be Ukraine, the whole crisis with Ukraine and Crimea and Russia and all that shit. Soros has had his hand in a lot of messed up shit. So name dropping him is very, very interesting. There's a lot of people who are aware of George Soros on the right. Not a lot of people who are independents or on the left who have. This will probably be the first time they've heard that name. And of course, we live in the Google age, so people will just fucking type that shit right in. Red pilling people. You know, 80 million at a time. So I wonder, you know, is Trump going to start focusing a lot more on the donor class itself? You know, you mentioned them. You know, there's a lot of people you could name, but they're not really famous. You know, I think he's probably going to start, you know, naming names a bit more often. You know, getting the attention of the press on these billionaire elites. I'm all for that. You know, put the light over the infected. What's the phrase? You know, light is the best disinfectant, I think. So another thing would be, you know, I think Trump responded really well to the Khan comment. I think he responded exactly how I thought he should have responded from the first place. You know, I'm sorry about your loss, Mr. and Mrs. Khan, but I don't know why you're supporting Hillary because she voted for the Iraq War. And you know, they're still trying to paint as if Trump fucking supported the Iraq War. You know, the first time he was asked that question, do you support the Iraq War? I believe it was like 2002 or early 2003. It was before the invasion started. And he had never been asked that question publicly before. And he gave a kind of half-assed answer that if you listen to it, you can clearly tell he's not very confident in his opinion. You know, it's the equivalent of, yeah, well, maybe I guess I'm for it. And then immediately it posted like a week later, before it was trendy to do so, when it was still kind of, you know, edgy to be against the Iraq War. So you're thinking like 2003, 2004. Trump was way ahead of the fucking curve. And this, you know, trying to paint Trump as someone who supported the Iraq War is just a way to get ignorant voters to ignore the fact that Hillary voted for the Iraq War. I almost missed this point. So another thing about the, sorry to kind of go out of order here, but another thing about, you know, Hillary and Bill and his, you know, sexual escapades that it just occurred to me. I don't think Hillary ever actually defended him. I'm trying to think. She never said anything he said, anything Trump said was not true or not honest. She made this, you know, quip about, you know, some quote from Michelle Obama about, you know, basically taking the moral high ground. Of course, ignoring the fact that she's the one who opened up with these character attacks. Just, you know, going for the character. So what fucking, you know, right does she think she has, you know, to claim moral superiority? I don't know how this fucking woman's brain works. Some more things, you know, Hillary kept hawking at Russia. Trump clearly the peace candidate at this point. You know, why is it's not the 1980s? I'm repeating myself from the first debate in my reaction video to that one, but I don't know how else to articulate this. Russia is a nuclear power. It has its interests. It needs to be, they need to be negotiated with. America is, we had this brief time for like 15 to 20 years where we had, completely an uncontested position in the world as the unipower of the earth. That time's passing. That time's just passing, and it's good that it's passing. It's not good for the world if America's the only power, because that's a monopoly. It's like monopolies never go anywhere well. That's why we have laws against monopolies. So I don't see people people are so fucking terrified of the United States maybe losing a little bit of standing and having to treat other countries, other nuclear powers like Russia, with a little bit of dignity. Well, what's the alternative? I mean, we've seen what happens to the world and to the hundreds of thousands of people who have died in our federal government's foreign wars of aggression overseas, because they have nobody to answer for. And this is why seeing us sleepwalking into a war with Russia, again, a fucking nuclear power, who's like him or hate him, Putin has clearly demonstrated that he will use force if necessary. It's just insane to me. It's like these people just can't wake up to the fact that there are other countries in the world and their opinions do matter. Like, we can't just ignore them. So and of course Trump brings out the fact that it's ISIS we should be focusing on. For the third time, I think, in this video, it's not the 1980s anymore. We are not facing off against the evil empire, the Soviet Union. We are facing off, civilization is dealing with, violent Islamic theocrats who want to bring the world back into the Dark Ages. Russia is not ruled by violent Islamic theocrats. They are our allies in this regard. Like, they're our allies in this fight against global Islam. They've had a huge amount of trouble with Muslim radicals like the Chechens. A few other incidents, like the whole incident where I think they kidnapped people and Russia ended up sending back like the terrorists' dead families' body parts. Just fucking hardcore shit. Maybe if we did that, we wouldn't have these problems. I'm not advocating for it. Just practically speaking, it might be a good idea to try it one of these days. So yeah, Trump is the peace candidate. Trump is saying, well, let's talk to Putin. Let's try to work something out. Let's coordinate and fucking defeat ISIS. No, instead, Hillary wants to fucking rant and rave about fucking, excuse me, about fucking bringing down Assad. What the fuck did Assad do? There's no casus belli that the United States has to end the Assad regime. We never had one. We didn't have anything to do in Libya either. What they think they're doing, I mean, I've seen some people speculate that they want to balkanize the country to get oil pipelines built. Maybe. I think it's maybe more just a case of complete and utter incompetence and a hell of a lot of mission creep. And mission creep, if you don't know, is when you have an objective or a plan for a long time. It's used more in a military sense, but it applies to anything. You have an objective in mind, overarching goal, and over time you just stop focusing on that one goal, and you start to lose momentum. A great example of this would probably be, I don't know, Iraq. I mean, after you topple the regime, oh shit, what do? Don't worry, guys, we're gonna nation build. Fucking bullshit. So yeah, if you want a nuclear standoff with Russia, I guess vote for Hillary. I mean, Trump is the one. They keep saying Trump's the dangerous one, but he's the one saying, "Well, we want peace. Let's try to work something out. We don't have to fucking launch off the nuclear warheads at each other." Man, I definitely think it went better for Trump overall. Like I said, I think this will definitely bump him in the polls, at least to some extent. What's something else that I want to mention? I'm all out of order here. Hope you guys don't mind. Oh yes, there was this total fucking plant of this Muslim chick, who, by the way, whenever I see a Muslim who's clearly westernized, at least in their wardrobe, and then they start ranting about Islamophobia, that lady would not be allowed to dress like that without walking around in a in a fucking beekeeper outfit. If she was in a Muslim majority country, she would never be able to dress casually. She wouldn't be able to drive. She wouldn't be able to vote. She wouldn't be able to do a lot of things. So if she wants to bitch about Islamophobia, well, we need a little bit of Islamophobia, because if too many Muslims come to a country, well, we've seen what happens to that country. Sweden, they have an Islamic theocratic arm of their government that's meant to foster diversity, multiculturalism, which is just some big fucking Trojan horse for theocratic rule over a Western secular state. Total bullshit. So yeah, fucking Islamophobia bullshit question. Trump kind of I guess backtracks a little bit, which I'm a bit annoyed about. Not gonna lie. I support a ban on Muslim immigration and general Muslim entry. With obvious common sense exceptions like heads of state and so on. There's no reason for us to be taking in immigrants from the Muslim world. Absolutely none whatsoever. And that's a position I absolutely stand on. The number should be 0. Yeah, there's going to be good people who, don't mean anything, don't mean any harm. But, the standard of should someone become an American citizen should be a little bit higher than, do they plan on mutilating any, young girl's genitalia in the next, few hours, or marrying a 12-year-old girl, or blowing themselves up because somebody drew a crude cartoon of a warlord from the Dark Ages period of Arabia. We should have a bit higher standards than that, guys. But yeah, Trump, he kind of walks back on a little bit. I'm not too worried, but I would like him to be a bit stronger on this issue. Stick to the guns. Stick to your guns, man. You've got people's support. There's a lot of people who, the media can pretend not to talk about it, but there is, the internet. With the ICANN shit, we might not have that for very much longer. But we still have it now, so we can pay attention to what's going on in Europe. There's a lot more fucking people who are aware of that. And I think most of the establishment might think. So, scanning through here. Any other points I want to bring up? I don't want this video to be too long. Oh, of course. I almost missed this one. So, of course, Trump says he will put Clinton in jail if he gets elected. If you thought, if there's any other dirty tricks that the Clinton campaign can launch, any other last-minute fucking moves that Clinton is going to try, she's going to try it now, because she just got told, in front of hundreds, probably, at least tens of millions. It'll probably be hundreds of millions in the next few days as people, they wake up and they have time to watch it. She was told verbatim that you will be arrested. You will be, or you'll be charged, and we'll have a special prosecutor. His own words: a special prosecutor will start looking into you and everything you've done, and start compiling a probably very long list of crimes and acts of treason that Clinton has involved herself in. I mean, I can't remember. It's certainly nothing like that's ever happened in my lifetime, or probably even a generation before me. So, it's like, man, this shit hasn't been this intense since fucking, like, I think Aaron Burr and, like, fucking James Madison. Some fuckers dueled in, like, the 18th century. And that's pretty much how we decided, like, one presidency. I think so. Couple more things. The Thought Control, the Thought Control website. She keeps saying fact checkers, fact check this. Clinton does. She keeps saying this all throughout the fucking debate. I'm inclined to think that this is some sort of fucking, move a little bit closer. This is some sort of code word that she's saying. in order to communicate something to the moderators. I'm not sure if that's true, but it's a very specific phrase. Fact checkers, get on that. It's like, she's got to be communicating something. She's crooked Clinton, she's crooked Hillary. She's got to be trying to say something with that fucking phrase. I'm not sure what it is. Very, very strong suspicion that she's trying to probably cheat with the fucking moderators. Anything else? I think I'm almost done. One little comment. We didn't talk about immigration at all. It has to be the third debate. Trump has to force the issue in because that's what a lot of people want to hear. I think if you can articulate it well, you'll attract a lot of people who are in the middle to come over to the Trump side too. If you're smart about how you articulate it. So nothing about immigration. It was a little bit. One of the questions towards the end was something about Clinton mentioned voting rights. A lot of people still have problems in this country, with the right to vote, such as poor people and minorities. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. She's talking about giving illegals the right to vote. This can be well observed. This is how the Democrat Party establishes its control over the country, perpetual control over the United States. Just mask it in some sort of pseudo suffrage movement and grant rights to people who've been in the country for 10 minutes. That's the game plan. So no doubt in my mind that if she gets in, she will grant unbelievable amounts of amnesty to make sure that nothing like Trump could ever happen again. So it's Trump or bust, guys. All right, this is like 22 minutes. I think I'm pretty much done right now. Hope this was interesting. Take care. Bye.